Sit over there.
Yep. Hello, James here.
Sit down, dude.
Yep. Here with Phil and Steve. About, we're about to discuss Olean. Yeah. So we,
You two got that one.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, what would you like to discuss?
Well, maybe we could start with how it's different than the Buffalo area.
Go ahead, like.
Right. Okay. Well, for a while I was convinced that Perkins was out of business. Well, it turns out they actually have a restaurant in Olean, and yeah, it's pretty well maintained and everything. We it's yeah, there's also a whole lot less pollution out there. Here, I noticed that at night the sky was very clear. I could see a lot more stars than I can in most parts of the Buffalo area.
Okay. So, first of all, this is the first time I was able to venture out of Buffalo into the Olean area. Southern Tier was called. Basically, because of the pandemic, mainly because of pandemic, but also due to weather issues. So finally, I ventured it. So previously, I just took the bus down there, which I did this time. It's only $11 from Buffalo to Olean, and it's really cool. It's a 3-hour drive, and it's like through lots of scenic area, lots of small towns, lots of yeah, you enjoy it. But and then my buddy just joined me for the second day, and we've been there for 2 days, and we enjoyed it. It was like kicked back and had a really big time.
Yeah. So, yeah, Olean is where the one college campus called St. Bonaventure is, and yeah, it's a pretty neat campus, looks like, and also we went when we were out there. Like, we also went to this restaurant called El Sombrero. Her Mexican food's pretty neat, and yeah, Steve's convinced it's quite authentic. It was a pretty nice place. Anything you want to weigh in there about that restaurant, Steve?
Yeah, it's, I've been there previously, and the service is really nice. It's actually an authentic Mexican stuff, not the Tex-Mex and corporate stuff, and it shows. And I went to a Beef and Barrel before, and I had a huge tall glass of pina colada, $6, and it's like really nice with whipped cream, topped with whipped creams. The only drawback is due to Memorial Day, most businesses were closed down in Olean, which is a huge mistake. I mean, after we went coming out of COVID, and we're having all these issues with, you want to encourage local tourism, and you shut down for a holiday. I mean, that doesn't make sense. But other than that, it's really been cool. And go ahead, James.
Oh yes. Yeah, because of the holidays, like by closing on holidays, these businesses are passing up on making a lot of money here from tourists, not just people who live in the area. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, and architecturally, both downtown Olean and the nearby town of Allegheny were built in like a late 19th century. Like most of the structures, like bars, like a hairdressing shop, all those places, salons, all those places were built in the late 19th century, and it's really cool for the architectural gem. Nice churches, not nice structures. It's really so different the city, the city here, like but also everything more laid back, fresh air. Tell them about the forest, just south of Bonaventure.
Oh yeah, Paul. There was also this like really neat forest. It was really full of all the trees. There were all these walkways, and yeah, it looked like a pretty great place to walk through. It's a really great thing to walk through, and yeah, I'm not too sure what all to say about it, but yeah, it did look like like did look like there were some warning signs, but yeah, for the most part, it was really great. Yeah.
So basically, we walked there and it's kind of like moist, but in a cool way, in a cold, like chill, like the temperature dropped 20 degrees, and it's kind of moist and it smells fresh, like fresh air in the middle of the forest. It's like just south of Bonaventure. And one thing that I like is kind of like a just juxtaposition. On one hand, you like all the urban area, I mean, semi-urban, but also you venture out and it's just like in the middle of a forest in the Appalachians or something. It's like just on the border with Bradford, with Pennsylvania, and uh, but the thing is that it's so cool. Before that, the previous two times I've been to Olean, St. Bonaventure University is, I think it's a Catholic university, and I got a really cool chill chapel down there. And I took photos on my, and it's really cool. But due to COVID, my buddy and I couldn't go inside because visitors are not allowed because of COVID. So it was closed down. So we were able to see from the outside what cool chapel it is. But when I went there, even 11 p.m., you can see what a nice chapel it is inside there, and you just meditate. You go there not necessarily in a religious way, but you can actually sit down there and look at stuff and the architecture, marvel at that. And people are very relaxed, very laid back.
Oh yes, they sure are. Yep. Yeah, yeah people out there sure have excellent manners.
Yeah, and so the last, so basically what happened was that, tell them about the breakfast, the complimentary breakfast.
Oh yes, they had this complimentary breakfast at the hotel, and it was yeah they had stuff for making pancakes. They also had yeah, oh yeah, they had Danishes,
Pastries.
muffins. Yep, yeah.
Pastries, yes. We thought they wouldn't have the dish out any because of COVID, but they actually put it in a brown bag, and tell them about the hotel room.
Oh yeah, the hotel room was pretty neat. Like it had this view of this empty lot right by there, and yeah, oh yeah, there was also this heat lamp in the bathroom, kind of made it like a sauna.
Exactly, you say exactly, and it was cool. So we were watching, flipping channels. It was really cool. We practiced guitar. We're doing nightly walk. And the chill thing about Olean, I'm a big hiker, and I'm a big into living healthy living, and green living. And we're walking a lot. And Walmart was nearby, so I even got a belt. I got socks. I got what's called underwear, boxers. But
Hmm.
also we were walking a lot, almost like downtown. We soaked up the fresh air, the architecture, the countryside, the rustic, rural area. Right.
Oh yes, yeah we did a lot of walking around. We noticed a lot of great places, and yeah, it turns out there was also a Friendly's restaurant out there.
Mm-hmm.
Here, although they had been quite busy over the weekend. Yeah, I'd love to not blame the local businesses for how busy they were, but yeah, like I said, some of them were closed, and yeah, apparently, yeah, there was stuff they had run out of.
Yeah, the cool thing was previously, I went there, like 2 years ago by accident. I mean, I was driving with another friend, and we just cruising around, and I'm like, fuck, I fell in love in this place because it was so contrasting the city I was living in. So I'm like, let's go a getaway for Easter or something like that. Okay, sure enough, I booked up a room in this hotel, and I was hanging out, soaking up the atmosphere, literally, the architecture, the culture, history, etc. Then, on my birthday, half a year later, I did the same thing. I took the bus, the $11 from downtown, 2.5 to 3 hours. The bus was talking, driver was talking my ear off, over friendly, telling me about history and different things and where should I eat and the waitress and different things. It was cool. Gave me lots of heads ups, lots of pointers, and I was staying in a hotel and I got the mead. There was a radio show, conservative talk show, Trump supporter called Lars Larson, nationally syndicated. So I called in to tell him to on the air to tell Lars Larson that I'm in favor of abolishing the filibuster, and he agreed with me on the show. And yeah, so that's one of the things. I went to now in the city I live. We can't get honey wine, mead. That mead was something stuff. Honey fermented wine that our Indo-European ancestors in Eastern Europe first came up with, and 4,000 years ago, around the time of the patriarchs, and you cannot find it anywhere else. It's all like grape wine. But in Olean, there's a liquor store that does sell mead, and last time I was there, I managed to get Montezuma, which is locally made up in this state of New York, and I bought it, and he showed him a photo of the Montezuma wine that our other buddy got.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well. Well. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So you tell him what do you think about the wine? So tell him what we did with the mead this time.
Oh yeah. Well. We put some in some cups, and we also wound up mixing it with apple juice, and that was a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And there's some bridge over there on the way there, right? By the football stadium.
Oh yeah,
some river or creek. Tell them about it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, yeah, there was. Yeah, I think it was called Allegheny Creek. Anyway, it was like. It was pretty neat, like really clean water, and it was like it was very peaceful. There was a bunch of tall grass there, that we walked through, and yeah, probably wasn't the best choice, but luckily there weren't any snakes in there.
Yeah. So to tell them about how cute was the woman that sold us, the young girl, woman that sold us the wine.
Well, yeah, she was pretty nice. I didn't really keep much track of her for some reason. I just.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah.
But people seem overall the thing was that I was able to get a honey fermented wine called mead that you cannot find in a city in America. It's very popular in Eastern Europe, like in Poland, in places like that. The Czech Republic is very popular, but not in the U.S. But you were able to get mead in Olean for $16 at that liquor store.
Yep.
Nice. What else? Architecture.
Yep.
What else did you say? You spout off what the good things. You wanted to start an academic discussion about the differences between the juxtaposition between the city and Olean. You go ahead, make a bullet point. Tell them the viewers what.
Well, I have noticed that like they have like these gas stations, like this one called Country Fair, which has rather modest prices. Mm-hmm. And they have been, yeah, people all have been pretty friendly. They don't spend as much time honking at you when you're crossing the street.
To the contrary, they wait about 100 yard football field length to let you cross. And what else do you like?
Well, I think I also like how there's guess I do like how everything smells more natural, and yeah, I definitely like how it's. I also like how like there's like there's all kinds of stuff really. I've been able to park my car rather comfortably, and yeah, I haven't seen yeah, yeah, the architecture is definitely really neat out there, although not too different than the city really, city of Buffalo really. Yeah, hmm.
Less crowded, let's say. It's like more spaced out, let's
Oh,
put
yes.
it this way.
Oh yeah,
It's not,
definitely.
I mean, architecture throughout the United States, or maybe even Canada, is pretty much similar. But it just, like downtown wasn't that, I don't know, crowded, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
What else do you think?
Well, I'd probably also say like there were definitely more perks for leisure time, and yeah, and I also we also walked through a residential area, which some of the homes seemed rather colonial, which was also pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Something is more like vintage. As if time froze in 19th century, early 20th century. And people seem very straightforward, nice, cordial, easygoing. Maybe it's because the service it's like service oriented people. I don't know, or maybe because less people, smaller place, or because we're tourists. I don't know, but it seems more congenial. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Yeah,
Any other thoughts for conclusion? Like what else would you like to add?
I can't really think of anything else. Basically, it was a great trip, and it was definitely. I'll definitely be sure to find a time to go out there again one day.
Yeah, there are two things. There are two things that I feel a little bit sorry we didn't do. One thing because Saint Bonaventure chapel was closed because of COVID. We could actually marvel at the architecture. And the second thing was that we are thinking about going to the bar in the town of Allegheny and meet some nice girls, but only a couple of senior citizens plus the bartender. So we're just walking around, smelling the fresh air and then marveling the historic value. But it was cool. All right. Switch the camera to you.
Oh yeah, yep. So yeah, that should be all of it. I'll definitely be sure to find time to make a video where I'm showing the photos that were taken over that weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, and that should hopefully you guys get some information down there, and maybe someday you'd like to visit there, and yeah, maybe you guys could also like to, maybe I've also inspired some people to make videos about places where they visited that are really different than where they live. Bye.
And it seems like the house prices. There's one last thing I gotta say briefly. Is that for conclusion? In conclusion, is that it seems like house prices are much lower than in big metropolitan areas in the state. And with the remote working, if it's possible, if you can move down there and buy a house pretty cheap and work remotely, it would be the best of both worlds. This is me signing off. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Yep. Get. Okay.